Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So first off, I wanted to go over reasons why I got my M1 MacBook Pro. My original computer is actually a 2015 early MacBook Pro, so it's been almost 5 to 6 years. Forgot to mention, but I also bought the education plan, so it's definitely a lot cheaper. I think I saved like $100 on buying my computer. So I upgraded because I saw a lot of potential in this computer, especially with the efficiency, since this is Apple's first time using their own chip. What we've seen like from iPhones with like comparing from previous iPhones, they kind of outplay each other, especially with the new chips. When Apple started making their own chip for their iPhones and their iPads, the performance kind of, increased. And I kind of saw that with the new M1 chip. I know, at least for me, this is my first time. It's kind of a risk as well. I don't usually like to buy like the guinea pig test item from Apple, because I know for me, this is my first time getting an Apple Watch. I didn't want to talk about it, but I was very doubtful in the first Apple Watch. Same with the AirPods. I have like the second generation. This year, I just, with all things happening in 2020, I thought it would be a nice fresh start. The battery life definitely lives up to the 20-hour mark. I think I only charge it like once a day, or sometimes even like once every 2 days, depending on how busy I am. And it's really nice because my old computer would die in like 2 hours, so I would have like to go back and forth with that. I also had some issues with low memory capacity with my old computer. So for example, I would have Chrome and Zoom open, and it would ask me, my computer, like during a Zoom call, my computer would ask me,
what app would I like to close?
And I kind of need all three of them. So like another thing to consider is what are you using the computer for? So for me, why I upgraded, part of the reason is I do minimal video editing, because I do very minimal tasks. I would do my homework on Google Docs, like Google Classroom, all that fun stuff with school, Zoom. And the M1 MacBook Pro actually doesn't prevent any of my creative outlets, especially since I don't use any desktop apps. I edit all of my photos on Lightroom on my phone. P.S. Don't forget to follow my Instagram at Huangqci. I also saw the potential in the iOS apps coming forward to this computer, even though it's not available yet, because I wanted to play League of Legends Wild Rift on this new computer, so I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. Like, what are some key things that I've noticed from my transition from a 2015 computer to a 2020? First off, I noticed the better sound and microphone quality of the computer, like with the studio quality speakers that they advertised. It's definitely better than my iPhone. I've also noticed that there is no webcam upgrade, despite everyone using video calls or Zoom calls right now for school. I also haven't been able to find out the full potential of the touch bar yet, just because I'm kind of new to this whole touch bar thing. And I don't really see any benefits of it so far, so we'll have to see. I also noticed the Touch ID, which has definitely saved time in terms of like waking up late, transitioning from my breakfast to my online school, and I just don't have to type in my password every time. I also have an Apple Watch, so it was the first time ever of me actually experiencing the feature of unlocking a MacBook with the Apple Watch. I was also hesitant because of the transition from the old MacBook with the MagSafe to the computer with the new computers with a touch bar, which had the butterfly keyboards. I wasn't really a big fan of it, but Apple recently changed it back to the old keyboard, and I really love the old keyboard with like the physical touch. Very hesitant because of MagSafe. I really loved MagSafe. In my head, I had an idea that I was always gonna trip over and like break my new computer, knock on wood, because of the USB-C. I was kind of afraid that I wouldn't have MagSafe to kind of be as or insurance in case I do trip on it. But now I kind of just have like my wire on the table, so it's not on the floor, so I won't trip. I was also really concerned about the idea of losing all these ports, from memory card to all the other ports like HDMI from the computer, and transitioning to only USB-C. It kind of freaked me out. I would have to buy a adapter. With the price of these computers, you would assume that it would come with one, but no. You would have to buy one, and I bought mine on Amazon, so it was like around $20, but I think that was like a price that, I guess if
You are buying an Apple product, you kind of have to get into the investment of getting adapter.
Overall, I'm kind of liking the flexibility and where I'm able to bring my computer, and I see a lot of potential in that, like in the future when I'm in college, because I'm going to college next year, and even for like now, like I'm able to like go in my living room without worrying that my computer's gonna die. And I think that's all as to the reasons why I got mine, and I'm very happy with my choice, or my decision of buying this computer. Okay, some things to consider if you are considering whether or not you should get this computer. So consider what tasks you're doing. So if you're like me and you're a student, maybe the MacBook Air might be a better choice. And like, what are you using it for? So like for me, I wanted the potential to be able to, you know, video edit or like photo edit, like minimal, not like professionally. I wanted that choice, and I thought that the Pro would definitely give me that ability if I wanted to. But also like what apps are you using? So if you're using native Apple apps, I think the M1 Macbook Pro right now will be really nice. But if you are using x86 third-party apps, so like Photoshop, it won't really transition really well because it's not like native to Apple, and developers haven't fully deep into the M1 chip ecosystem for the silicone computer. Like Marques Brownlee said, it's not very sustainable for professional users to be indulging into the new computer thus far, just because of the limit in the new test drive computer. Overall, I think it's a nice computer to use if you're like a high school student like me, or like a college student, and you're just doing like everyday tasks, not necessarily like professional tasks. I think it's really nice with like the battery life, with the potential for growth. And yeah, overall, I think it was a nice investment for me. Hopefully this video helped you make your decision whether or not this computer is for you.